Hello guys, welcome to the session. So we are going to have a shorter session by the way today because of some reasons, but that will be something very much important as well for us. So let's get started. We have half an hour available for us. This session is going to be useful as per the initial discussions that we have made at the start of the journey where we spoke that there is a definite need of understanding JavaScript if you want to become a strong Salesforce Lightning developer. If you see, the problem is the JavaScript is very vast. It's huge. That is the reason people don't understand or don't realize that what we should do in this case because JavaScript is like learning something new technology. So do we need to learn all this stuffs again or what we should do in this case? So please note guys, we don't need to learn all this stuffs again. We just need to understand that here the JavaScript which we are going to have is actually going to be some specific part of JavaScript we need to understand here and not all because here we have some limitations in terms of using the JavaScript. We don't need to use all the things. We have some limited scope only, in fact, and that particular JavaScript concept that we need to understand that actually we are going to see today. Okay, so limitation in the sense there are so many things in JavaScript and complex things and database related things and some activities which we are going to contact to which is going to work like a control and all. So these things we don't need. We just need to understand how actually we can perform this kind of beginner level JavaScript things and also what all the things are suitable for Salesforce. So in short, the agenda is going to be JavaScript for Salesforce Lightning. So what we need for Salesforce Lightning that we are going to see, and here we go. So first of all, let's see one by one all the stuffs, how we start the things in JavaScript and what all steps we need to know in JavaScript. So point number one, JavaScript is actually such a uh, such a language which is going to help you to write very easy code or very easy uh, to get very easy results, and it is going to run on HTML. Okay, so which is going to have HTML and related to some kind of website it's going to work. So let me mention here. So please note JavaScript is a language which can work with HTML code or Visual Force pages or components, etc. You can use this in multiple ways. Ultimately, it's going to work on the markup. Please note this works on browser. So it's going to run on the browser. It doesn't need any kind of special engine and any kind of special mechanism. You can just run this on the browser. For example, if you want to run the Java, then you need something called as Java runtime. You want to run .NET, you need some kind of .NET runtime. Okay, but it is different. And by the way, please note JavaScript is not having any connection to Java. Many people feel it's something related to Java. No, no connection. Just the name is same, that's it. Otherwise, there is no connection between them. So make this clear. So let's see first of all one by one and try to understand how we can do this. And by the way, with JavaScript, what we can achieve is first of all, uh, with JavaScript we can write the business logic. With JavaScript we can store some data, we can do some kind of validations and lots of things. We can perform this kind of activity in multiple ways. Okay, so what we are going to do now, first of all we'll try to understand how actually the JavaScript is created and also some important things related to that. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to create one uh, web page. Okay, so what we'll do, first of all, I will create a page, and in this page I'm going to write here some kind of code. So let me just do that. So let's say I'm going to create one HTML page. Okay, so we'll run this JavaScript on the HTML page because we want to run on the browser. Okay, so let's say I'm creating one HTML page. Now just save this page, just save this page on, and I have created a folder called as learning JavaScript. Save here and give the name, let's say JavaScript code, let's say for example, and after that don't forget to select the type equal to HTML. Okay, and click on save. That's it. You can see now it became one HTML page. It's going to run on a browser. Okay, go to that folder, go to that folder, and let me mention here open with, let's say, Firefox. So this is working like a browser. Okay, you can see there is nothing, so it's not showing anything, but it's like a browser. Let me mention something, let's say for example hello. Okay, save this page and come to this and refresh, and you can see hello is coming, right? So this way now we have created a web page, and now let's start understanding something about JavaScript on that. Okay, so now by the way, you guys can see this hello message, you can see this. So reply in the chat box if you can see this. Is it visible for you? Okay, fine. Let's get started. Now let's add lots of JavaScript code in this. Please note, this is a website body. Okay, this is a website body. Okay, and so we have mentioned here like all these things. But now, when you want to write any kind of JavaScript code, then how we are going to work on that? That is something different area. Okay, so we need to understand that area as a focus point of today's session. If you want to run the JavaScript, then please note what you need to do is, first of all, the most important thing before starting the JavaScript is we should be using a script tag. Script, okay? So let me mention here. This is compulsory, right, in a script tag, okay? And here, close it. So in this we need to mention JavaScript, okay? Now if you are using this in a Visual Force page, you will do the same thing. And when you are doing in Lightning, you can skip this because that is not needed in Lightning. It's already considered as a script, okay? Now I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to write one welcome message. Okay, so just let's say for example some message we want to show to the user, some kind of alert message. So there is some concept called as alert, a very popular thing which we are going to use when you are going to do debugging of your Lightning. Okay, so whenever you are doing some kind of code, you want to see what is the current value of that particular thing in Lightning and all, you can use alert. For example, hello from alert box. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Okay, save this page, come here, refresh, and look at this. Okay, now how you can use this, something like this. Let me show you what we do in real-time project. Let's say you are declaring some kind of variables and all. Okay, so first of all what we'll do, we'll declare a variable. So how to declare a variable in JavaScript? The biggest advantage of JavaScript is you don't need to remember various types of data the way we need to do in other languages. For integer value, we need to remember integer. For let's say integer age. For text, let's say string name. Let's say some boolean values, let's say boolean marital status, right? So this way we need to remember actually various types of data, integer, string, double, etc. But in Java, the biggest advantage is there is no such concept like integer and all these things. Everything will be considered as only one type of data, That is called as var. That's it, done. Your numerical number, okay, declare by var. Let's, for example, var age or var name, or let's say date of birth. Now this is a date field, okay? So it's a date field, but still I can use in var. So this way, for everything you need to use var. Very, very good feature for us to not to have any kind of headache of variables, various types of data. Okay, var. Let's say I'm writing here var salary equal to 10,000, and here now I want to see while my code is running how much is the salary. So salary is equal to salary is, and here let me write something like this, var salary, and paste it here and save it, and save it and come to this VF page, HTML page, and that's it. You can see salary status. So this is a feature which we use regularly in Lightning whenever actually you want to see that what exactly is the value of any specific information at specific situation. So please note, whatever topic I'm teaching, immediately I'm linking it to Salesforce Lightning, and I'm giving you where we can use this, right? Because ultimately our target is actually to learn this JavaScript for Salesforce Lightning. Okay, so please note this option of alert we guys use many times in real-time project for the cases like if I want to see on a specific situation how much is the value of any variable, then you can do this. For example, in client-side controller, in helper, in both cases we use this alert so many times so that we can understand what actually is the current value of specific variable in Lightning component. Okay, next. So this way you understood actually how to declare a variable in JavaScript. Now let's proceed. Now suppose you want to get some kind of information, and let's say for example there is a requirement that let's say on a button click you want to call a specific function, something like this. Okay, so let's say we are having a button, and on that button we are going to show some kind of value, something like this, etc, etc. We have such kind of requirement. So in this case what we can do that we can call the JavaScript code on the place of the button, and also we can perform this. So this activity what we are learning will show you how actually we can call a specific function whenever you are actually going to write any kind of JavaScript code. Okay, so we can write functions also, and let me show you now one more important information for you. Please note this will be very useful for you in Visual Force page also, and this will be very useful for you in Lightning, because in Visual Force page also we use regularly the concept of JavaScript. And if you are getting a job in some company where actually your role is working on Classic also, then you have to be ready with this knowledge, because JavaScript is useful in Classic as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write one code, and on that code I'm just going to mention that some information. Let's say we are going to mention uh, so let's do one thing. Let me just write here. So see, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to just below this, okay, just below this I'm going to write some kind of break. I'm going to just give some space, and we will write a button, and on that button I'm going to call this function, test function, which is declared here. In that test function I'm going to display that alert. So you can have a control also when what code should be executing, that control you can do here as well. Okay, so here I'm having the value of var salary, fine, but only in test function I'm displaying this kind of controls are possible in JavaScript by using the functions like this. Okay, so now let me go to this page and see here. See, after the page is loaded, there is no message, no alert, right? Because it is controlled now in that function. and that will start only when you press. So press it, and that's it. You can see now it's coming. Okay, so this is one more very popular feature in Salesforce. We use JavaScript, and by the way, let me mention here classic plus lightning, because whatever we are learning will help you in both cases. Okay, so this is one way how to call the JavaScript function and perform a specific activity on that particular code only. Let's go for the next thing. Apart from that, apart from that, there are some more use cases. For example, let's say you have some kind of external scripts, and actually you want to use there are some kind of external JavaScripts, and you want to use this in your page. So in this case, you can like put the external scripts name into the JavaScript and also call it. That is also possible. So in simple words, like for example, this entire code, entire business logic, okay, whatever you are written. So see, this entire business logic you have written in a file called as JavaScript code HTML, something like this, right? Now, for example, we have similar file, and in that we have code of JavaScript. So you can also do something like this. We can also store entire JS code and in another file and call in our code. Now for that, what you need to do, just in the script you need to mention the JS file name, okay, and that's it. Okay, so something like this. In the script tag, just mention the JS file name, and that file will be automatically loaded. Okay, you can give the path. It is on your laptop. You can give the path, or if it is in the you are having this file control, so you can just also the entire code you can use in your page. Okay, both ways are possible. Next, apart from that, we can also do some kind of activities, like for example, uh, you can also reference. Now this is the JavaScript file, but suppose you want to refer any file on the website, that also you can do. For example, on a website you have some kind of file, and let's say on that website there is a JavaScript file provided. You can also use that, not a problem. Okay, so here what we can do is let's say, see this example. Okay, to access JS code on any website, you can do like this also. So write script, then src, then website name, anything, okay, and then at the rate the full name, and that's it. So that particular file will be available in your code. So you can use this way externally available JavaScript also. And next, apart from that, what we can do, let me tell you one by one. Now there are some display types, the ways to show various information in JavaScript. Very popular again. Let me tell you, because it is useful for Lightning Classic when we are doing debugging. Okay, so ways to display a message in JavaScript. Now this is useful for debugging. So when you are doing debugging and all, it will be very useful for you, because by that way only you can understand what mistake is happening, what is the current value, etc, etc. Okay, first one you already saw, alert. Right, that we have seen, right? Alert message. Example, alert and hello. That's it, something like this you can do. Okay, next, apart from that, there are more three ways, and let me tell you one by one. So first, second very popular is uh, console.log, which we are going to use regularly in the Lightning. So let me mention here. So when you mention something like this, okay, it goes to the log file. So this shows a alert window with message to user. Okay, and here this will put the message in log file. So we need to go to log file, and this way we can just take the benefit of that. So the format is same, console.log, and whatever you want to just print, you can print it. So this will print now in the log file. Okay, apart from that there are two more ways, which is called as inner HTML and document.write. So that will be not so useful for you. Third, inner HTML, and fourth, now these are two ways, inner HTML, and you can see here, let me just see here, this one, inner HTML, and next is document dot write. So these are not mostly useful for you, just like you can pass any kind of message, and you can just do something like this. For example, let me show you some example, and also mention here that this will not be going to be something useful for you. So suppose, see, inner HTML will give you the scope like this. You can just contact call any specific ID. Okay, we can give the IDs to all the fields, right? We have seen in the classic also, and in the previous session also we saw, right? We can give the IDs into the markup, so we can call this and set some kind of value to this, or also you can just go for some kind of activity like this, and also you can write a message, something like this. But again, these are not used. Okay, so please note 3, 4 points we can neglect as not useful for Salesforce Lightning. You can neglect this, okay? But first and second, very popular. We are going to use many times in the Lightning project. In real-time project, these will be working like your friends. They are going to help you in many situations, and you will come out of that difficult situation where you're not able to understand what mistake you have done, how the code is not working. But ultimately, when you use this kind of alert and log, it will be very easy for you to understand what exactly you're doing. Okay. Next, and please note, the JavaScript programming is like the same way we have the programming in other technology. So you already please note that know that variable is the um, like a format by which we can start or declare a variable, and rest all the things are same like any kind of other programming language. So there is nothing different in this case. Next, apart from that, another thing which is going to be useful for you. So let me also mention here what all the useful JavaScript keywords are there. So let me mention some useful JavaScript keywords. So I'm going to mention here some useful keywords which we are going to use, and those we are not useful, those will not help you much in Lightning. I'm going to remove that. So you can use some kind of break. So if you are writing a loop in the JavaScript, you can break the loop by this way. Continue, you can just if you are using a loop and you want to continue from the beginning, from the start, you can go for this. Third, debugger. Now this is not needed, so you can leave it. Do while also you can write. You already know it's a basic of programming. If you want to execute some kind of loop, you can use a for loop also, okay, in JavaScript, and you can use a function to declare a function that we already saw. Here you can see your code, see this function, okay. So you can even declare this. You can use if else also, that is also fine in JavaScript. You can write the same way. If you want to return something to the caller, then you can also write return. For example, I want to return from this function. So whoever is calling this function will get the return value as 100. Okay, that's also possible here by using return keyword. We can use switch keyword the same way we can use if else for multiple conditions. We can write even try catch block exception handling, and we can use variable for declaring the variable. So this kind of options are very useful, and just keep for your knowledge purpose. These are all the various regularly used JavaScript keywords. Okay, and almost all you might already having the knowledge of, because they are also part of the classic journey. So we have seen some kind of things like if else and loops and all. So these are some very popular JavaScript keywords which you can take the benefit of in the Lightning programming. Next, apart from that, now variable is done, the code is done. Data type to understand, for every data type we need to go for the only one thing, that is nothing but the variable. That also you know. So let me see whether I mentioned this. So let me just mention here declaring variable, so that it will be like a part of your note, and you can just go for this. So please note, I can even declare a variable in JavaScript, either number, but again by var. I can declare string variable. I can even declare the object also like this. And every time we are going to use the var keyword only. So this object where it's going to be containing two values, first name, last name, like a kind of collection you can see, and it's displayed like this. So for all this process for declaring the things in JavaScript, we have var, and you already understand now that how actually we need to write the JavaScript functions, and it's the same process the way we follow in other scenarios. Now there is something called as JavaScript object. Okay, so now here whatever we learn from that, now we are going to start advanced JavaScript. There is something called as object. There is something called as event. Next, uh, apart from that, here we need to understand that this events and this objects, these are definitely very much regular concepts you are going to come across while working in Lightning. So how exactly this happens, and how we perform this, plus how we do debugging in JavaScript, what are the ways to debug the things, and how we can perform this activity, plus just to ensure that you are actually also going to follow some kind of best practice in JavaScript, and which should give you the best results as well. Best practice which you need to follow in JavaScript. Apart from that, in what actually like common issues we generally do while working on JavaScript, these, plus apart from that, whenever we are working in JavaScript, then what kind of various list of reserved keywords are there which we cannot use, and also what actually is the benefit of JSON. JSON is very popular, and in advanced kind of situations, people also use JSON and work on that. So now that is also something regular. Plus, apart from that, anything is pending. Yeah, so I think we are all set. So this is something related to the activity that we have seen in terms of the implementation. Now we are going to see the advanced thing that we are going to see, by the way, in the next session. So this was totally focusing on the JavaScript beginner level, but now we are going to see all the remaining advanced things which are very, very important and useful for your future process that is working on the lightning, the JSON, working on the objects. These are very popular in lightning, so that we are going to see as a advanced concept. Very important topic. Don't miss next session as well. So any question from today's session? Any question, any queries from today's session? Okay guys, so there was some fluctuation. So any question from today's session? We are done with today's agenda, the beginner level of JavaScript functionality, and now we are going to proceed with the advanced JavaScript that is in the next session. Any question or any queries, or all clear? Reply in the chat box. The only person who is pending to reply, quickly reply please. Everything clear? Fantastic. So now in the next session we'll go for the advanced JavaScript, which is common in Lightning components which we use regularly, and then we are going to see how we can use this in various steps of Lightning. Let's meet tomorrow. Have a great time.